Hello and welcome. I'm glad you're here. You know, Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, and I'll tell you what, that is the biggest holiday for florists, in case you didn't realize that. But it was in 1976, and I'll tell you, that was really a frantic day for us because you see, we were actually actually the first day that we were in business. The first holiday we were in business was for Mother's Day on 1976, and it was crazy. I mean, there's all kinds of orders to take care of. And in this excerpt from that day, there is Ted, my husband, my partner in the flower business, and Hattie, who is the previous owner. That's who we bought the shop from. And there is Agnes, who was the clerk, great helper, and then Morris, the van driver. So here's just a short excerpt from the book, Arranging a Dream by J.Q. Rose. And guess what? I'm J.Q. Rose. So it's getting near the end of the day, and Ted's going out with the deliveries and getting them all ready for deliveries. So he says, as we're busy in the shop, working, lots of flower arrangements, corsages, bouquets, and plants. He says, do you have any more orders for Hesperia? We need to leave in 30 minutes, Ted announced. He'd warned us earlier to get the deliveries ready, so I was relieved when none appeared after flipping through the papers on the clip. We've got them done, hon. Okay, he said. The tension left his face. His gaze caught mine for a second. A surge of electricity connected us. We're doing this, aren't we? Yes, we are, I said. We were a team facing the biggest challenge of the year together. As he strode out the door to help Morris load up the van, he called over his shoulder. No more deliveries for Hesperia. They'll have to go on Monday. There were only so many hours in a day. Deliveries were adding up, leaving no extra time for another run to outlying locations. The pressure to fill the orders to get them delivered thrummed through the air. Mother's Day would be here, and there was no stopping time. The blessing was the weather was warm enough that the plants and flowers didn't have to be wrapped, a very time-consuming job. All deliveries had to be done by the end of Saturday because we wouldn't be open on Sunday or make deliveries on Sunday. No downtown stores in Fremont were open on Sundays ever in 1976. Finally, with supplies nearly depleted and the hours in the day running out to get them ready and delivered, we quit taking orders for Saturday delivery. If customers agreed, we promised delivery on Monday. The orders on the clips are dwindling, Hattie. My eyes opened wide with amazement that we were nearing the end. An audible sigh escaped my lips. Hattie slammed the cooler door with one hand. Her other one held a fistful of stems of flowers. That's good because there's not much left in the cooler. My heart danced hearing we were low on inventory, but we had the orders ready. From this point on, we only took orders for what was left in the cooler. I watched Hattie as she shuffled back to the design table, weariness etched on her face and ankles swollen over the tops of her shoes. Hattie looked tired but never complained. She was 30 years older than me. In the middle of the afternoon, she cleared off her table to call it a day. She hadn't let me down, working fast to complete orders and keeping things rolling. Thanks, Hattie. That was the big holiday. A goofy grin stretched from ear to ear. Hattie nodded at me and then ambled through the door of the west greenhouse toward her home. As I watched her go, shoulders slouched, I marveled at how she had managed to put in such a grueling day. I knew I never wanted to work that hard at that age. She was gone. I finally took a deep breath. Instead of me stewing about finishing up the few remaining orders, I beamed, knowing I was ready to handle them myself. That put a lift in my step. I carried the last arrangement to the delivery area and sat down at Agnes's table. I was ravenous, not taking time for lunch, We survived on junk food. Fatigue draped over me like a heavy wool blanket, but the sense of pride in knowing we had conquered our first Mother's Day filled my heart. We had all worked together like a fine machine to produce delivery vans full of beautiful flowers for special people, for moms. Tomorrow would be Mother's Day, my second Mother's Day. I wanted to go home and hug my baby girl. Tomorrow I would call my mom and tell her how much I love her. Then I planned to spend the day playing with Sarah and relish in the pleasure of being her mom. And thank you for being the moms that you are, or the special person in a child's life. And have a wonderful Mother's Day.